Hey, good evening and welcome to the monthly Board of Education meeting for Wicomico County. Today's meeting is being held virtually and recorded. All those connecting today's meeting have been muted. Board members and executive staff are able to speak. Individuals interested in providing public comments can send them by email to comments@wcboe.org and they will be shared with board members and the superintendent of schools. As we always do, we'll begin today's meeting with the pledge to the flag. And I didn't ask anyone to do it this time, so I will lead the pledge to the flag. You can see Mr. Palmer's Zoom picture. There's a flag behind it. So please join me in pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, 3.2, approval of today's agenda. If there aren't any comments or changes or corrections to the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
I move we approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
I hear a second. All those in favor of approval of the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Okay. 3.3, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Hanlon.
Well, good evening, everyone, board members. Good evening again, and to the community who have joined us. Sorry, got distracted for a second. Really very pleased to welcome everyone to the 2020-2021 school year. As everyone well knows, today was the first day of school. And I think by all accounts, things went as smoothly as we could have hoped, doing something totally different than we've ever done before, obviously. Have received some very positive reports. I'm aware of several glitches with technology, which we anticipated, and those glitches are minor and will obviously be things that we can correct very quickly. So just a very good day for Wicomico schools. We had an attendance rate of just over 82%. And again, I think that attendance rate, considering all of our students do not yet have the technology that they need, I think that that's a very good percentage and will only improve. Speaking of technology, we do have still a few families that we know specific to their schools who you are. We still have a few who do not yet have laptops. We're working very hard to get laptops in your hand. We're very hopeful that that will be this week. And as we have been communicating, students will not be penalized for what they miss in these few days if they don't have the appropriate technology. There is a laptop, or will be a laptop, for every student, as we've been indicating, and a hotspot for students who are not within the footprint or who need assistance with connectivity. So again, families, and I think you've done a great job of this, but if there's still a need out there, please communicate that with your school. But I've heard from a number of individuals who were able to, adults who were able to observe in their students' classrooms how engaging lessons were and how students were, as I indicated, engaged fully in the learning. And so we will get through some of those glitches, and it will only improve from here. So really pleased. Again, I want to tell parents that if you have questions, we do have a hotline, a helpline for both technology and curriculum. You can find that information on our website and in several emails that we have through parent messages that we have communicated. But please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have questions, and we're going to do the best we can to either have a live voice or get back to you as quickly as we can. We want students, let me just preface what I'm getting ready to share with you. We want students back in school just as soon as we possibly can do that. That's what we all want. But it's very important that we keep an eye on the metrics that we have now been provided with by the Maryland Department of Health. And so I want to take just a couple of minutes while I have everyone's attention in my report to share with you where those metrics are found and the guidance that's been provided by the Maryland Department of Health. So you can go to the Maryland Department of Health website, and I'm gonna share my screen. So I may need your help, Andrea. Is it up at all? Bear with me for just a moment.
One of those little glitches.
Yes, one of those little glitches. It's here. Yeah, it's here.
And then click on that. Back to the Zoom. And then go to share. Nope, go back. Hold on. Let's start. So there we go. There. You see it now. There you go.
Okay, sorry about that. Now, how do I get rid of this so I can see what I'm showing? Okay, so this is, there are a number of graphs when you go to the Maryland Department of Health website. And it's right there when you go to the website, all of these graphs. And this particular graph, you can see that I am looking at, if you look at the tab at the bottom, if you can see my screen, I'm looking at positivity by jurisdiction. So if you look at that graph, you can scroll up and select the county that you want to look at the positivity rate for, and you can see that I have Wicomico on the screen, and what you see is Wicomico compared to the state average. So we go over here to yesterday, which is the latest data that's reported as of 10 o'clock this morning. And you can see that Wicomico County has a positivity rate of 5.3%. Obviously, that's above the state average, which is at 3.68%. So keep that 5.3% in mind for just a moment. And then we're going to go over here to another important data point, according to the Maryland Department of Health, and that is the case rate per 100. And if I scrolled up, I'd show you, you'd see the very same drop-down menu where you can select Wicomico County, and you can see that Wicomico County, Maryland, has a new case rate per 100,000 of 13.24. So that is the second important metric that is part of the guidance from the Maryland Department of Health. So 5.3% positivity rate, 13.24 as the new case rate. So now I'm going to show you the guidance that comes from the Maryland Department of Health. So what school systems have been encouraged to do in terms of reopening plans is to first look at their testing positivity rate. And you can see that you're going to the left side of the matrix or the right side of the matrix. It's not up. Okay, hopefully. Sorry about that. I was hearing that you couldn't see that. So you start with the, this is the guidance from the Maryland Department of Health, and you start with the testing positivity rate, and you go to the left side of the matrix if it's less than 5%, or the right side of the matrix if you're greater than 5%. And you'll recall that we were, as of today, in Wicomico County, Maryland, for the county, at 5.3%. So we go to the right side of the matrix. And then following down, you go down to the new case rate, which is on a continuum of anywhere from 5 or less per 100,000 to greater than 15 per 100,000. And you'll recall that as of today for Wycomico, Maryland, we are at 13.24%. So you can see that we are to the right side of that continuum, on the right side. So where the Maryland Department of Health is saying that there should be limited or no in-person programs. At this point, we are continuing to watch these numbers every day. If you go back and picture in your minds those graphs, you can see that the trend is not moving in a good direction for Wycomico, Maryland, but we're very hopeful that that trend will reverse and that we will be moving into safer numbers in our county. You also want to look at the very bottom in the orange where it's encouraging school systems to reassess their plans if you have a new case rate of greater than 2 per 100,000 or a positivity rate of an increase of 1.5% within the last 2 weeks. And I can tell you that both are problematic areas within the last 2 weeks. So again, I'm sharing this with the community because I want you to know that we are watching the metrics very carefully, because student and staff safety and family safety, for that matter, are very much our priority. So we look at these numbers every day and we continue to reassess what we're able to do. Our plan is still, at this point, to bring in limited small groups of students by October 1st who need to have that face-to-face instruction, for instance, in special education, in some career technology education programs, English language learners, some of our more vulnerable populations. So we will continue to study the matrix and examine our plan every day and continue to communicate with Lori Brewster, our health officer in Wycomico County, to ensure that we're interpreting the numbers correctly, which she tells me when I spoke with her at the end of last week that we are, but we will continue to collaborate with Lori on our specific situation. So that's a little bit about what's happening currently with what we're doing with our recovery planning and our first day of school. But I also want to take time during my report tonight. What better way to celebrate the first day of school than to recognize 2 of our outstanding teachers. So we're very delighted to have them with us online. I think I saw them both in the photos. As everyone knows, with COVID and the shutdown of schools, our Teacher of the Year banquet last March had to be postponed or actually canceled because of COVID. And so we were able to celebrate our Teacher of the Year and our Rising Star Award winner in other ways in the spring of the year. But now that school is back in session, we want to recognize them. The board wants to recognize them tonight, and then we'll follow up again with them with plaques and other awards from the board and from the superintendent to make sure they get those awards in their hands. So I'm going to start tonight. I'm going to share my screen again. So I'm going to start tonight with our 2020 Rising Star winner. Our Rising Star Award was created by the McCain Foundation, Bill and Teresa McCain, to honor and encourage a second-year teacher. Rising Star nominees are teachers who, though new to the classroom, have already shown extraordinary promise as educators. And this year, the Rising Star Committee selected Heather Smith, a special education teacher at Wicomico High School, as the 2020 Rising Star Award winner. Heather believes deeply in the concept of failing forward. That means being honest with oneself when mistakes happen, taking time to understand why they happen, and learning from them in order to do an even better job in the future. She's deeply committed to being an excellent educator for her students, and they experience that every day in her classroom. So congratulations, Heather, our 2020 Rising Star Award winner. Thank you to Bill and Teresa McCain for your generous support of our school system and of our teachers. I think that Bill and Teresa are both with us this evening. And Bill, you wanted to make a couple of comments.
Yes, hopefully you can hear me. Just a couple quick comments. It was exciting, as you can see in the photos, we were able to get together with Heather and present her with the Rising Star Award. We're really excited to see Heather receive this. You know, Heather is going to be a great ambassador for our education system. And I know it's called the Rising Star Award, but she's already a star. And her star burns bright, and other people see that. And, you know, we can't wait to see her throughout this year, at different events and so forth. So, Heather, congratulations, and have a good year. Thank you.
And thank you again to both you and Teresa for your support. And congratulations, Heather. We look forward to seeing you face to face as soon as we possibly can. So we're also very delighted to have with us tonight Himalatha Bhaskaran, the 2020-2021 Wicomico Teacher of the Year. Hima has taught environmental science at James M. Bennett High School since 2004. She's passionate about providing meaningful educational experiences for all of her students in the classroom and in clubs and in the community. In 2014, Maryland's environmental science, she was the 2014 Maryland Environmental Science Teacher of the Year, and just recently received the 2019 Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching, which is the highest award given by the United States government to kindergarten through 12th grade teachers of math and science. Hima has been a key member of her school's successful effort to become a certified Maryland Green School. She promotes diversity beyond the classroom through her leadership of the Solutions for Multicultural Achievement and Recognition team, SMART, and engages in collaborative leadership by serving on her school's instructional leadership team, the Youth Environmental Action Summit Steering Committee, and the statewide Teacher Environmental Literacy Leadership Group. Hima, we are so proud to have you representing Wicomico County Public Schools in the Maryland Teacher of the Year Recognition Program, for which finalists will be announced very soon. The Board of Education and I look forward to presenting you with a golden apple for being named the 2020-2021 Wicomico Teacher of the Year. So our congratulations to both of these outstanding teachers who lead by example every day in their classrooms, whether it's in their live classroom, face-to-face, or virtual classroom. We wish you and your students and students who you have in your families all the best for a great school year. And thanks for being with us.
So Hima and Heather, you two represent all the teachers in this county, which are just great teachers, but you two are the best of the best. And Mr. McCain said it well about Heather. We say it about Hima as well. You both are already stars. Your stars burn bright for this county and teaching and doing what you do for our students every single day. And on behalf of the board, other board members may want to chime in. I say thank you for what you do every day. And you are appreciated for sure. And to Teresa and Bill McCain, you're appreciated for stepping up and sponsoring the Rising Star Award. That's much appreciated. Good community members, thank you very much.
Yes, we appreciate you. And thank you for being with us this evening, Heather and Hema. I can see you supported by your family as always. That's great. Very good. Cheering you on. That's good.
Congratulations again to both of you.
Congratulations. And Mr. Malone, that concludes my report.
Okay. Thank you, Heather and Hema. Thank you very much. So we'll move on to 4.1, approval of the open session minutes from the meetings of July 28th and August 11th. If there aren't any corrections or additions or changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Move to approve.
I think there's a motion and a second in there. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're carried.
Aye.
Okay, 5.1 through 5.7 would be our consent items, with 5.8 being the actual approval of those consent items. If anyone has any questions, we could entertain those. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve our consent items.
Gene, I have a question on 5.3, the parental
Okay.
advisory committee. And that question is, if a parent wanted to get on one of these advisory committees, what would they do?
On 5.3, you said?
Yeah, 5.3.
The advisory committee representatives are provided to our office by the school. So, and there is one representative from each school. So in the future, that parent should make their wishes known to the school.
Okay, that sounds easy enough. Thank you.
Any other questions on the consent items? If not, I assume I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Consent items are approved. 6.1. During the August meeting of the Curriculum Council, we reviewed a new textbook to better meet the needs of ATEC students in automotive technology. This text presents more of an introduction and is better suited to the needs of a beginning automotive student. The council unanimously recommended that this text be forwarded to the Board of Education for consideration and approval for first reading. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, is there a motion to approve this new textbook for first reading for use in ATEC's automotive technology?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, I'll turn it over to Mr. Ashby for any comments or further information on this. Mr. Ashby?
Certainly. Good evening, everyone. I'll be very brief. We did see the need to find a solution for our 9th and 10th grade students who are interested in automotive technology. This part of the course occurs in the second half of their 9th or 10th grade year. And the text that we had prior to this is a very detailed, a lot of depth, and is kind of overwhelming to a student who is entering this career field. And we needed something that gave them a point to leap off and to learn basic automotive technology and not necessarily all the electronics and system theory. We had a committee that was comprised of students, parents, industry representatives, which we are very blessed with in this area. And we found a text that's actually from the same manufacturers as our advanced tech, which the graphics and the way that it's presented is toe in step with our advanced book, but not nearly the depth. And it allows a student to kind of wade through some of the basics. This text came it's highly anticipated from our two teachers, which have constantly had to use the advanced text and make alterations to it, even in the way that the text is written, because it's written at a level that is basically a senior to a sophomore in college. It's a tough read. So this book definitely fits the bill. It is a digital text or e-text, as well as we have classroom resources. And I think it's something that's really going to help our students to get immersed quickly. I think it's something that they're going to enjoy. It's very interactive. It will read to them. And they can also pick the speed in which it's read to them. So if they're a quick study and can follow along, they can speed up the reader, or they can slow it down, or they can just read the text as we would traditionally do. It's a lot of adaptations. We actually had a training on this text last Thursday. I attended the training and was very impressed from our Cengage rep. So I have no reservations. I appreciate Curriculum Council recommending that this go forward, and we anticipate using it with our students.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ashby. Are there any questions for him?
I have a comment as a member of the Curriculum Council. Mr. Ashby and Mr. White thoroughly explained the textbook to us. And especially someone like me whose knowledge of a car is turning on the ignition and how to call AAA. I really I appreciated their patience with us, but how thoroughly they explained it to us. And thank you, Mr. Ashby, and thank you to Mr. White also.
Certainly.
Thank you, Ms. Sufalski. Any other questions?
Not a question, but a comment. I am extremely excited to know that we are looking out for those who have multiple learning levels, who still want to go forward and pick a trade in our CTE program. I am a huge supporter of the CTE, and I feel that having a trade and having someone to support them the way that we are, I think that's a wonderful thing.
Very good, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay then, I assume you're ready to vote on approving this textbook for first reading, ATEX Automotive and Use in ATEX Automotive Technology. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay,
Aye.
passed for first reading. All right, thank you, Mr. Ashby. 6.2. Is there a motion to approve that fiscal year 2022 to 2027 capital improvement plan and budget, which was reviewed and discussed during the August 25th, 2020 work session for submission to the acting county executive and the state? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Move to approve.
Motion and a second there. And I think this would be Kayla Campbell is the presenter, right? If there's any questions.
Is Kayla available?
Kayla, are you on?
Yes. Yes. Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Hanlon, Chair Fitzgerald, Vice Chair Malone, and the board. A draft of the FY 2022 Capital Improvement Plan and Budget was presented at the work session on August 25th, 2020. We reviewed the Educational Facilities Master Plan to show how special initiatives, projected enrollment, capacity, and the facility needs indexes are used to prioritize our funding requests. We stress the importance of data-driven decisions. We've reviewed the top 2 county and state priorities in detail, as well as the remaining 8 projects encompassing the top 10 priority list. Updates made to the final version include modifications. Pinehurst Elementary School HVAC project was moved to priority number 6, and Wacomico High School roof project was added as priority number 7. I stand for questions.
Anyone have any questions for Kayla?
Yeah, Gene, I have one. Kayla, on the canceled projects, around page 25, at the bottom of that page, it has a total of 15 million some dollars paid for by the county and some other money paid by the state. Has any money on the state side been approved in the past has that been awarded, or was that just what they needed to approve and didn't really approve it? Because I noticed a lot of items were done with approved by other money resources or something like that. So on those projects, what happened to that money that was approved for it earlier? You understand what I'm saying?
I believe I do. So I know one specific project, Glen Avenue, the HVAC renovations that we're working on, a portion of that project that was canceled received state funding. It was HSFF, which is Healthy Schools Facility funding from the state. So that was part of the reason why that project was canceled, because it did receive a portion of state funding. Does that answer your question?
Is that probably the same on the other ones that show the project was canceled, but it was completed under other funds? So that means the other funds could be the state side completing it and the county not having to put something towards it.
I believe a portion of it is usually taken care of with our outlay funds, our capital outlay funds.
So, Mr. Palmer, it's Mrs. Ashby. Canceled can mean two different things. It can mean a project that was canceled because it's no longer necessary. So, for example, on that canceled list, it's going to have multiple systemics for Mardella. And the reason the multiple systemics were canceled is because we're proceeding with the option 3 major renovation and addition. The project that Kayla was describing at Glen Avenue is canceled as a portion of it, like a phase of a project, because it was able to receive state funding as well as local funding. So sometimes a project's funded out of alternative sources versus the traditional capital planning funds, like bond sales with the county.
Okay, so there's really no funding sitting around anywhere that's not being used.
No, sir.
Okay, that's what I'm just checking. Thank you, Lisa.
Kayla,
Kayla.
okay, Kayla, I have a question. You mentioned the roofs at Wycomico Senior High School. Now, Wycomico Senior High School, multiple buildings, also includes the large auditorium and gymnasium, plus many other buildings. Are you talking about a roof project for every one of those buildings, or just for specific buildings?
It would encompass all of the buildings on the campus, and it would likely be a multi-phase project. It wouldn't be able to be accomplished in over one summer. It may be spread out over multiple summers, but yes.
But this does also include the large building where the gym and the auditorium is.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions of Kayla or Mrs. Ashby? Okay, I assume you're ready to vote on the motion to approve the capital improvement plan and budget as reviewed on August 25th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? It's carried. Okay, thank you both. 6.3 personnel matters is for information. So as we move toward adjournment, so I want to thank every teacher, administrator, every person in my company.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Why not? Why not? Anything we can do to raise some money for these tournaments. If we can do for
Mrs. Dash is muted. So anyway, thank everyone for all the hard work you put in to make this first day of school what it was, a virtual first day of school, which is probably the first time any of us in our lifetime have started school with virtual school. So as I always do, I got to pull this up. I'll leave you with a quote. The most important day of a person's education is the first day of school, not graduation day. All accounts, our first day of school went well. Certainly not perfect, but a lot of work, as I said, went in for it to be a great opening day. Even though it was virtual, it was a good opening day. As Dr. Hanlon said earlier, we're hoping to get small groups into school as soon as possible, but we have to watch the metrics for the health and safety of everyone. So what I would say in closing is to the parents, I'm talking to community members now, parents, talk to your children about their schedules, talk to them about their first day of school, talk to them about issues that they saw or they had. If you have issues, there's plenty of help out there. There's all the phone numbers that are on the website. Talk to the teacher. There's lots of office time during the asynchronous learning period. So reach out and let us know what the issues are. Don't just let them bubble up inside. And finally, be patient. It was the first day of school. It's the first week of school virtually. And as Mr. Brown said to us earlier, and his experience in the school system, the first week of school has always got issues and bugs to be worked out. So this year will be no different. So please bear with us and give us your feedback, and know that all of our staff and our team members are doing their very best to educate the children of Wicomico County. And thank you for attending our meeting tonight, and thanks to all the school personnel for all you do each day. And with that, I think we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.